building a case for reliability professionals and business leaders to develop a go and see culture on their shop floor to drive their reliability results. Great. Hey, Joe here, your reliability man, bridging the gap between best practices, what you know you're supposed to be doing, and the reality that you have to live in every day at your plant, how to change that. Bringing you stories from my past on how I was able to solve those and what I've learned over my 33 years. So, hey, I've stated several times the biggest gap by far that I see in plants is they don't have a go and see culture. You know, today I'm going to try to build a case on why you need a go and see culture. You know, this is going to sting for a few of you, but I think we need to hear this. I tell this to almost every plant leader and facility that I visit. Okay, let's get started. You know, why go and see? KPIs hide waste and opportunity. You know, they don't show the extremes. They typically show averages. So if you have 10 events that last, you know, range from 1 hour to 20 hours in duration, the average of that may be 8. So your KPI says 8. Well, what happened when that work role change or maintenance event only took 1 hour, and why did it take 20 hours? What is inside of there? How can we airproof that procedure? You know, it doesn't talk about precision. You know, you see a KPI that said that an event took 4 hours. Does that have any indication on how precise and with what precision level that the mechanics installed that bearing? You know, it leaves it all out. You know, how difficult was the job? You know, this is not about placing blame on anybody, but how do you airproof it and put in standard work so that we can, you know, average 4 hours and then drive that down instead of the wide variation. So KPIs, you know, they're just bad. You know, they're a good starting place, but they cannot be where you end. And so many leaders stop with the KPI. You know, imagine you're the coach of a football team, and you're not allowed to go and watch the game. All you get at the end of the game is here was the score, here's how many first downs we had, here's how many rushing yards, and here's how many passing yards we've had. That would be crazy to try to coach a team by not observing. Crazy. Yet, most leaders do it every single day. Number 2, meetings, opinions, and reports from individuals. You know, they're basically KPIs with a human bias added on. You know, and quite often they've got a lot of fear of embarrassment in them. So people, you know, kind of smooth off the rough edges of what's actually happened out in the workplace. They're not 100% wrong, but they're not 100% right either. So you got to go and get that information. You know, an example that I want to give here is we had some large rolls that we were changing on a rolling mill. You know, they took 8 hours last night. Took 8 hours to change. Typically, it's only a 4-hour event. Why did it take 8 hours? Well, they ran into problems, had some trouble with fit, you know, but the crew worked through lunches and breaks, got it done. They did a heroic job. I'm going to buy them donuts tomorrow. Guys, when you get into it, you look and see, somebody calculated the shims wrong. The shim that gets the pass line right for those backup rolls was calculated wrong. They had to do the job twice. That's not about placing blame. It's about how do we airproof that so that doesn't happen next time. How many times did it happen? How long does it take to calculate those shims? Airproofing. You know, it's an opportunity that's being hidden by KPIs and being masked by bias of people. Nobody wants to blame the person that calculated it wrong, you know, because Joe's a good guy, right? You know, I'm jumping up to another category here I call people. I just saw a Plant Services magazine article that said 51% of people are dissatisfied with corporate culture and 80% of millennials. That's huge. But, you know that when the leaders are absent, paranoia sets in. People guess. Are you out on the shop floor? Are you out there mixing and mingling with people? You telling them what you're trying to do. What I found is most leaders are genuinely great people trying to do the right thing. But in the absence of information, the absence of a relationship with two people face to face, paranoia sets in, right? So people issues are huge. And this is, again, under why go and see. next year's business cycle, we're going to have business cycles. People are talking about a recession coming up. I don't know. The show's not about this. But, do you really want to, when your market drops off 25, 30%, do you really want to increase your risk profile by not rebuilding equipment, not taking maintenance outages, cutting out on overtime just to cut it out, lay off 10 people just to do it, just to get your cost numbers right? Or do you want to go after waste? Where's the waste at? It's buried in all these numbers that you're not looking at. Okay, all the waste is evident on the shop floor. I'm telling you, it's an empowering thing to do. If you don't know what to do, go out on the shop floor, see the waste. I'm telling you, the solutions are simple. So why don't leaders and reliability professionals go to the shop floor? Number one reason I hear is too busy. So let's just look at that logic for a second. You're making poor decisions for these reasons. You're making poorly informed decisions. You're ignoring a whole bucket of data. That is reality. And you're looking at metrics and opinion to make your decisions because you don't have time. So you're not looking at all the information. But you have plenty of time to react to that poor decision and to adjust and to explain it away, but don't have time to do it right in the first place. Folks, that's insane. That's insane. You got to be better than that. You got to find a way. And I got some hints here in just a little bit more. All the waste is on the shop floor, folks. You got to figure out a way to do that. What can I do? Number one, block out 4 hours on your calendar. Every single week to do chalk circle about one of your big problems. Everybody's going to watch what you're doing. You going out in there doing that is going to make the whole organization do that because you're the leader. You're respected in the organization. Block out 4 hours every week on the calendar for everybody in the organization. Every Wednesday from 12 to 4 p.m., I had a meeting notice to the entire plant. Pretty cool. A lot of fun getting everybody on the shop floor. Create standard work for you after the daily management meeting to go and see failures. Anytime something significant fails, you go and see it. And everybody knows, hey, have the last PM in hand. Last time somebody looked at that, the last, condition monitoring data, go out there and ask why. Not beating on people, but trying to get to the root cause of what happened. So go out and see failures. Go see successes and projects and implement things that people implemented to improve. Go and see and reward them. Pat them on the back for getting that done. Go out and see how work is executed. Look at that work being executed versus standard work as you know it. See those success stories. Boy, you're going to love this, folks. Once you start doing it, it's contagious. You'll love doing it, and you can cascade it through the organization very quickly. Do not accept, this is my number 4 idea, do not accept changes, personnel adds, replacement of people. If you've had, 10 mechanics and you got 2 retiring at the end of the year, don't accept any of those without chalk circle observation that factors into your decision-making data so you can make the right decision. Got to see the waste, got to see reality. Don't accept things without a minimum of 4 hours of chalk circle observation. I mentioned the number 1 reason I hear is I'm too busy. Number 2, folks, and not a lot admit this, but a lot of digging can get you there. The number 2 reason is people are afraid. Leaders are afraid because they've grown up in a time where they feel like they need to be the smartest person in the room. So bottom line, they're afraid to go out on the shop floor. You see a piece of equipment out there and it's got some seal that broke and I don't understand how the equipment works. I don't understand how that caused a problem. So you're a little embarrassed to go out there with the mechanics, with the reliability engineers, with the operators because you don't understand. You're not the smartest person in the group. You don't have to be. You got to get past that. Your job as a leader and a professional is to collect the ideas of others and then make the right decision. Okay? So, hey, bring somebody along with you on these observations. Bring a reliability engineer. Bring a supervisor. Bring a planner with you. Really, you can just ask why 4 or 5 times. Somebody says something, say, well, why'd that happen? Why'd that happen? Why'd that happen? Grunt a few times, and then say, good job, and we need to improve this, and walk off. You'd be amazed at what you can drive in the culture by just asking why a few times. You can't be afraid, folks. You got to do that. Begin your journey. Folks, this isn't that hard. This is my 56th video out there. I'm making this look pretty easy. It's hard to do, but easy concepts, okay? So please, begin your journey. If you need an experienced guide, you need a coach, somebody that's done this before, give me a call. I'll give you some pointers on email, on phone, maybe even I'll come to your plant.